Hey, what's up, guys? Houston here. Look, if you've been trying to get a personal loan with Navy Federal and you may have been denied, or you keep hearing that people are being denied and you wonder what's up, people are having 800 credit scores and they're getting denied for a personal loan with Navy Federal. So you wonder, okay, what's up? Well, here's the thing about it. You have to understand what happened. There was this little error that a lot of people went through, and some people are still trying to do it. They're using credit privacy numbers, CPN numbers, right? And they had been using these numbers to get personal loans, credit cards, and stuff from Navy Federal. All right. Now, the reason they was targeting Navy Federal was because Navy Federal would not ask for documentation. All right. So you would build up a CPN number with authorized users, a couple primary accounts, and then you would go with Navy Federal or whatever, and you would apply. Okay. So they didn't have this back end data metrics to find out if this is a real Social Security number or not. All right. So this is just one aspect of it that people don't even talk about in reference to why a lot of people are being denied. That's just one scenario. Now, that being said, here's the thing about it, understanding when you're trying to go for a personal loan with Navy Federal. One, Navy Federal is a big tickler on having, Navy Federal is very strict in terms of DTI, debt to income ratio. Okay? So where you hear people, like I made the video a long time ago that a person, she had got a $25,000 credit card with Navy Federal with a 580 credit score. The underwriting for the loans is totally different. And here's the thing about it, why it's different is because of the data metrics that they're using. And what I mean by that is their internal score. Now, many of you all have heard me talk about the internal score going from 100 up to 450. But one of the things that many people miss is that an internal score has nothing to do with a personal loan with Navy Federal. Nothing. I don't care what your internal score is. It can be 1,000. It has nothing to do with getting a personal loan. Your internal score is factored in only for the credit cards, okay? And that's the reason I always tell people the easiest in terms of funding would probably, you have a higher chance of getting a credit card instead of the personal loan. There's different data metrics, okay? So people going and they're having multiple pledge loans and stuff like that, that's not going to help you when it comes to personal loans with Navy Federal. I'm just telling you the truth. That has nothing to do with it. All right? Now, in terms of having a high credit score, has nothing to do with it. One of the key things, again, let me reiterate this. One of the key things that Navy Federal is a real stickler on is debt to income ratio. And so what that means is the amount of income versus your overall expenses. Okay? I've continued to tell you guys, when you have a DTI over 55% with regular banks and credit unions, your DTI is going to get you denied. I don't care how strong the credit score is. Okay? Now, another thing that would definitely get you denied is having too many open revolving accounts, okay? I don't care if it's at a 10% utilization. If you have 5 revolving accounts open, okay, and all of those 5 revolving accounts are open, and they have $1,000 card or $5,000 card, and you only use $200 on each of those 5 cards, okay, it's too many open revolving accounts for Navy Federal, okay? And most people are not aware of this. Now, another thing that I want to tell you about, collections and charge-offs. How recent those collections and charge-offs. Now, if you have a collection or charge-off, again, over 2 years old with a zero balance, They will not count that against you. They will not count that against you. But if you have a balance on it, say that you settled it, but it's still showing a balance on it, they count that against you. I'm just telling you the facts. In reference to being in the credit industry over 2 decades, looking at different credit files and stuff like that, understanding why many people get denied. That's the reason I continue to tell you guys, sometimes Navy Federal may not be the best institution for you. Now, one of the things that Navy Federal is very keen on is relationships. So, if you an individual, okay, you just started out with Navy Federal, it would help if you have a credit score below 680. It's going to help you more, okay, if you have direct deposit. Now, if you can't do direct deposit, one of the things that I would definitely tell you to do is maybe do like a quick start certificate, maybe a money market certificate, all right? Then you want your end rewards, you want your pledge loans, okay? Because it's all about the relationship. Now, once you have that in place, again, you do not want to apply for a personal loan. Banks go in 90-day reporting, okay? So once you open up the account, having a direct deposit, if possible, is going to be very key. So if you have a direct deposit with one institution, see if you can split that direct deposit up going over to Navy Federal if you want a personal loan or account with them. All right, it's going to help you. Now, that being said, when you're going in with Navy Federal, when you have a bad credit, like I said, your internal score doesn't mean anything when it comes to the personal loan. It doesn't. All right. However, one of the key things is how long you've been with them for the relationship. How many accounts you had with them. How long you've been utilizing these accounts. That's the reason I tell you, like a flagship checking account is important. A savings account is important. Money market account. Those are the type of accounts that are important to Navy Federal on the personal loan side. Another thing that you also need to know about this situation in terms of inquiries, okay? Now, in terms of personal loans, TransUnion, FICO 9, right? And I've told you guys that you can build up your FICO 9. You can build up your FICO 9 with authorized users. You can build up your FICO 9 with rental payments. You can build up your FICO 9 with utilities as well as subscriptions to help increase your credit score, right? That would help increase your credit score. But again, like I said, when you have bad credit with Navy Federal, you do not want to automatically start applying for a personal loan with them. You will have a higher chance having multiple accounts and applying for a unsecured credit card than you would going to get a personal loan, okay? It's just their thing. Hold on one moment. Now, another thing I want to tell you, because some people wonder, well, how many personal loans can you have, all right? Usually Navy Federal, they won't allow you to have more than one personal loan, okay, with them. All right. Now, in reference to credit cards, you can have multiple credit cards. You can even have a home improvement loan. All right. But with a personal loan itself, usually they only want you to have one. Now, what happens after you get denied? How long should you wait after you get denied a personal loan? Again, I just said most banks is 90 days. Some people say 60 days. I said just go to full 90 days. And then after that 91 day, apply. But again, making sure within that 90 days, if you're able to, your revolving accounts, making sure you pay as many of those down as possible to zero. Okay? This is going to give you your highest chance of approval with the personal loans. Now, one of the ways that I tell you to do that is when you pull your credit report. And I always tell you guys, like, Vantage Score is going to give you a Vantage score, okay? Vantage TransUnion, all right? Now, if you want your real credit score, click the link below because you need access to know what's on your TransUnion FICO 9. Your Vantage score is guessing at it, right? But with your FICO 9, you need to know exactly what's going on. You need to know what are the data points and stuff. So you can click the link below to get access to your real credit report because this is something serious, especially if you're trying to get a loan. Like I say, you wondering like, well, how come this person, they have bad credit and they got a loan with a personal loan with me? Again, at the time when they did it, more likely they didn't have inquiries. So meaning they had, within the past 6 months, they probably had less than 3 inquiries, okay, on their TransUnion. That's another thing. Within that past 90 days, they more likely paid down their revolving accounts. Okay, so that possibly helped. Also, in terms of your DTI, now here's another key about this so you can understand. With your DTI, one of the biggest factors that Navy Federal is going to look at is your income and your rental or mortgage payment. If your rental or mortgage payment is over that 25% threshold, again, this is something that gives them a red flag and they may not give you a personal loan. All right. Usually I tell people is your rental income or your mortgage, you look at the amount of people in the household that's contributing. So if you make $4,000 a month, all right, and your rent is, or your mortgage is $2,000 a month, but you have 4 people in the house that's contributing to that $2,000. So that's $500. So that's how much you're actually paying. Now, granted, if you have the mortgage on your credit report and stuff, but again, you make sure that you count your income, your overall household income. This is something else that makes a difference. The more income, it brings down your debt to income ratio. So a lot of people will just put their income, but they won't put their spouse's income. Or people that are on Social Security disability, they may have the Social Security disability or retirement, but they're also getting rent from renting out one of their rooms. And they're not including that income. All right. And so these are the things that are true factors in terms of you getting approved. All right. Now, people say, well, I can call a recon line. Yeah, you could. But again, they're just going to look at those things that I just factored out. Okay. In terms of how old the credit file is and stuff like that. Again, by Navy Federal being relationship based, the longer you have a relationship with them, the better it is. Now, here's something different. Say that you do have a good credit score. Okay, say that you are 740 and you go to Navy Federal or whatever. All right, and you again by you open up multiple accounts, because this is something that I did when I first joined Navy Federal. They gave me $75,000 off the bat. Personal loan and 2 credit cards. But this is what we end up doing. We open up checking accounts and we open up savings accounts, right? Because we already had good credit. And because of that, they gave us $75,000 off the bat. $25,000 personal loan and 2 $25,000 credit cards. Okay? And then we also set up direct deposit with them. So we had the savings accounts, the checking accounts, and we did the direct deposits with them. So that's what they were looking at. So it had nothing to do with internal score because we did it all the same day. So that's what makes the difference. Now, again, when you have bad credit and you're trying to get a personal loan through Navy Federal, I'm not saying it's impossible, but you really need to look at those data metrics, all right? Now, if you guys have any questions about business credit funding, personal credit funding, removing negative items off of the personal credit, click the link in the description. Schedule a one-on-one consultation. Thank you.